Welcome to another Power BI tutorial from BI-Lingual Analytics. My name is Roland, and today I'm going to show you a complete report makeover. I'm super excited to finally record this video. Why? Because today we will transform this Excel report into this Power BI beauty. But before we start, you know what to do with all those buttons down there, right? Thanks heaps. A couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine gave me an interesting challenge. He's the chief leasing officer of a company in Melbourne that owns a large industrial park and an office building. Their main activity is renting out those spaces. His monthly report is about the performance of the business, and he presents these figures to the directors. The report itself only contains a few but very critical details. As you can see it on the screen, the report contains months following each other in rows, and in the columns they have details about both properties. Needless to say, they use Excel as their main reporting tool. In this case, we are not working with a massive dataset, but it doesn't mean that we cannot apply some data visualization magic. I believe that the task to increase understandability and to find insights is going to be easier, because I don't have to pick and choose data to present. We can add all of this info to the report pages. But where do we even start? Let's head over to Excel and check out the original report in details. First and foremost, think about why do we create reports. It's not about being fancy or showcasing our talent. Reporting should be all about answering business questions. And to be honest, this Excel does the job. My friend only reports these figures on a monthly basis. That's why we only see year-month in the first column. After that, we have the same information replicated for both the industrial area, highlighted in orange, and the office building, highlighted in green. The directors of the business need to see how much square meter is under contract or leased, and how much space is available to rent out. Additionally, monthly income is split into leasing fee and service fee. A leasing fee covers the rent of the space itself, while service fee contains maintenance, electricity, and stuff like that. It's important to know the difference between these two, as the service fee doesn't really fluctuate as much as the leasing fee, especially in times like this, when they are struggling to keep businesses at their location. So in 2020, when they offered rent reduction to some occupiers, the service fee component of the company's total income wasn't affected that much. Some might even say that this report is not too difficult to use and understand, as we don't have too many rows and columns, so just don't worry about it. And if you are one of those people, just like my friend was, you are here for a big surprise. I don't believe that any data visualization job would be too small. It doesn't matter how big or small of a dataset you have available, or how frequently do you need to update your reports. The core reason why we create reports is to help users understand numbers and to communicate our findings with or to them. Sure, sometimes presenting an Excel table is enough, but I would strongly encourage you to think about visual representation of the data as well. We all know that a picture is worth 1,000 words, or in our case, 1,000 numbers. Having said that, finding the right balance between numbers and visual elements can be tricky. But let's jump into Power BI and see what we need to do with this dataset to achieve something fancier than an Excel spreadsheet, and show my friend that his report doesn't need to be so boring. Let's start by importing the Excel table and transform it a bit, just to make sure that it will be easier for us to work with these numbers. It will also allow us to automatically refresh or update our Power BI report based on the Excel spreadsheet. First, we need to create a lease status query. In this format, Power BI won't be able to work with the figures, so as a first step, we have to delete the last two applied steps, change type and promoted headers. After that, we can transpose the table. Now we can fill down the first column. After that, let's promote headers. As we are focusing on the lead status, we can filter down the second column to least and not least fields. Then we can unpivot columns. And as a final step, we rename columns and change column types. Once we have completed these steps, we don't have to go through all of them again for the income report. Just duplicate the first query and adjust some bits. We are not lazy, just efficient. Now, I believe all of our data transformations are done, so let's close and apply. Next step is our date table. I'm just going to copy paste it from a previous report. I'll add the link to my time intelligence video, so if you want to learn how to write your DAX to create a date table, please check it out. And as a final step, we can start adding a couple of measures. As most of these are going to be time-based measures, such as year-to-date or month-to-date figures, I'll speed up the video. If you want to learn a bit more about these, just check out my time intelligence video. You see, it wasn't that painful, but it allowed us to refresh the report quickly. So here comes the part that you have been waiting for. Apply data visualization. If you are a regular bilingual analytics viewer, you know that I like to start with the background, even before we place anything on our canvas. The company has three main colors: blue, white and black. So when I designed the background for the report, I wanted to use those colors as a starting point. Also, to help users to distinguish between office and industrial report, our backgrounds are going to reflect the type of the property. These subtle changes are going to make our report even more beautiful. Additionally, either consciously or subconsciously guide our report users, therefore increasing understandability. When I was designing these, I knew that I'm only going to have 2 visuals per page and some KPIs on the top for both. Least % on the left hand side and income on the right hand side. As the design concept is going to be the same for both report pages, we can save some time by only setting up one, then duplicating the page and changing the page level filters. Again, we are doing it the smart way. So let's create our visuals for the office space first. As the least that percentage is something that we would like to monitor over time, it's okay to pick a line or area chart. It will guide our report users' attention and help them to see trends. For the income part, we would like to compare last year with current year on a monthly basis. So for that, I'm going to pick a column chart. But because I know that I also want to add monthly change, I'm actually going to pick a combo chart. I'm also going to place a slicer on top of the monthly fee visual, so users can switch between leasing fee and service fee. As I mentioned before, it is important for the business to separate leasing fee, as it will show the actual health of the business. Just a quick tip, make sure that you group those elements together and toggle on the Maintain Visual Order feature under General Settings. And finally, we just need to add those KPIs on the top. And as a finishing touch, we just need to apply some color adjustment and formula-driven color coding so we can arrive to the end result.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Office report is looking good, so duplicate it and create that for the industrial area. And this is it, the final report I created for my friend in Power BI. If you want to explore and interact with this, check out my blog post where I shared the report. It wasn't too difficult, right? Just to recap, we started from a single Excel report that looked like this, and we created a Power BI report that looks like this. And what was my friend's reaction? He was absolutely surprised that I was able to turn his Excel table into something that looks nice and a million times easier to understand. Since then, he has been using this report and received tons of positive feedback. With this update, directors have better understanding about what's going on with the business. It looks like that he's on his way for another promotion. I should have asked for a commission. But the fact that I was able to help him and show him that a little bit of DataViz can make such a big difference is priceless. It was also a good data visualization challenge for myself. Would you consider revisiting some of your Excel reports and add some data visualization to them? Let me know down in the comments below with any other questions that you have. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you will challenge yourself to add visual elements to your reports. Believe me, your audience is going to benefit from the visual interpretation of the data. Stay tuned for more to come. See ya!